Hi, my name's Chris. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Name of my channel is Just Sitting Around. My name's Chris, and I've been a licensed general contractor for 25 years, so I know a little bit about putting things together. Today's project is going to be a solar pool heater that I'm building for a friend of mine. He's got a really nice in-ground pool. I was over there this weekend and it's cold, and he doesn't want to go broke trying to warm it up. So I've looked at some YouTube videos on how to put this thing together, and I'm going to show you a real quick version that I'm going to put together. I have on the table a 4x8 sheet of plywood for the base, 1x4s, going to build a box around the plywood, and the polypropylene tubing that the water will circulate through. Going to paint it black, so I have a quart of black paint and some fasteners. I bought a cool oven thermometer that I can place underneath the plastic cover so we can see how hot inside the hot box is. Stay tuned. So the first step that we're going to complete is we're going to cut the 1x4s that's going to make up the box that the coils will go into. So we're going to cut 2 boards 8 foot long down each side, and then I'm going to cut 4 4-foot boards, one on each end, and I'm going to double the boards that go in the middle, because the Lexan plastic sheet that I'm going to purchase to go over the top, I can't get it in my van at 4x8, so I'm going to cut it in half, and it'll seem real nice over the 2 boards in the center. So we're going to go to cutting. Okay, we got all the boards cut to length. So the inner boards that'll fit inside the 2 long lengths are 46.5 inches. The 2 long sides are 8 foot even. What I'm going to do is going to glue them. They're going to go on edge like this all the way around the perimeter, and then double boards down the center. I'm going to glue it, and then I'm going to nail it. I have this really cool Porter Cable narrow crown stapler. I'm going to staple it up for speed to fasten it with the stapler, and then after the glue dries, I'll flip it over and I'll drill holes and screw the perimeter so it's good and strong. Stay tuned. So we've applied we've glued the 2 long sides and stapled them up through the bottom like this. Now we're going to do the ends the same way so you can see that we put the glue down. We're going to stand this board up. I'm going to end nail it here, staple it through the bottom. We're going to do the same for the 2 middle boards and at the far end. And now we're going to drive the fasteners up through the plywood to attach the 1x4s. Okay, next. So we've gone all the way around the perimeter of the 4x8 sheet of plywood, and we nailed, as you can see, we've nailed our 1x4s, actually stapled. We have our end pieces in, it's all glued and nailed. Took us about 4 minutes to cut the boards to length, and it took us maybe 10 minutes to go around the perimeter and put the double boards in. The reason I put double boards in the middle is that this is all going to get covered with a Lexan 5/16 Lexan clear plastic cover to trap the heat for the solar gain. And I can't get once we're done, we're going to flip it over, and I'll countersink screws every so often so it is really good and strong. The step we're going to move on to now is we're going to caulk everything, and I have a quart of flat black paint, and we're going to flat black paint everything. That's a tongue twister. And so what we're doing by painting it black, when this stands up in the sun with our coiled tubes, the black will track the heat. It's going to get 200 degrees between this plastic in this hot box. So there you go. We're gluing the center boards to make up the center of our hot box, and we're gluing it. Glue this down, and we'll drop the boards in. This side. Come back. There you go. Beautiful. Very good. And now we'll put those to the line, and we'll staple these into place. Hey, day 2 on the solar pool heater build. we finished up. We got it all put together. 2 coats of flat black paint. 2 coats of flat black paint. Say that 3 times fast. What we're going to do next is we're going to flip it over and run screws through the plywood into the 1x4s. As of right now, they're just glued and with some light staples to hold everything in place. The screws are going to put everything together so it stays together good and strong. Right about now, so now I have 2-inch screws to go through the 1/2-inch plywood into the 1x4s. We're going to do them about every 6 to 8 inches around the perimeter. All right, so we dumped the paint on there and we've rolled it in real good all the way around the edges. Again, it was an exterior grade latex paint, and we pushed it into the plywood real good just to seal the finish so it'll be stand the weather a little better. And then we're going to let this dry for about a 1/2 hour, and then we'll put a second coat on and it's done. All right, so yesterday we started running the coil of tubing into the frame, and as you can see, it's looking pretty good. Here's the coil as we got it from the home improvement store. It's 100 feet of black poly pipe. It's a little bit of a rascal to wrestle with to get it uncoiled and to get it to look like it looks over there. So here we are. The solar heater is going to have 300 feet of this tube in there, which I think is impressive. And then I think what we're going to do, I was at first thinking I was going to pack it in really tight like this, but I think it would heat better and get more heat exposure if the heat could get all around this tubing. So that's going to be my goal, our goal, to run it and have it nicely laid out like that all the way to the center. Then we're going to jump across, drill a hole, and then do the coils on this side. Got all the tubing laid out, and as you can see, it's laying pretty nice and flat. We have some kinks that we got to work out of it. I don't want this to, I have these pipe clamps, so I'm going to clamp this. I have it sticking out about 2 inches so I can put the next fitting on. We did have to put some couplers in to splice it, but I think it's going to work out real nice. I'm going to clamp this down with my little impact driver. And that'll lock this pipe down good and tight. Perfect. Okay, we have the tubing all laid out, all the tubing into the hot box. You can see the coil. We have it all strapped down so it won't move. This is going to be mounted on a slight angle so it gets good sun. This will be the inlet, and I installed a purge valve so at the end of the season can hook a compressor to it and blow out all the water. Now that it's all finished and clean on the inside, we're going to put the Lexan top on it and go and install it at the pool. Well, we had a small problem with the solar panel. We found that it started leaking, and upon taking off the Lexan cover, all the tubes are melted. So the heat, we noticed that on the oven thermometer that I installed in the Lexan, the temperature was getting up to 160 degrees, and this poly pipe just can't take that much heat. So you can see it's all melted, and so now we're gonna have to rethink the tubing that we use. And over here, you can see that these tubes started to fail. You can see the ridges that are starting to form here. It started to misshape. So we're going to figure out a different pipe and reset it. So we had to take out all the polypropylene pipe because the sun had melted it. We decided to go a little more expensive route. We bought this good Craftsman garden hose, 50-foot lengths. So there's 2 50-foot lengths in each compartment, and we've got it all strapped down. We're going to this side I painted black. We're going to finish painting everything black and put the Lexan back on, and it should be ready for service again.
Okay, so what I'm thinking...
Solar panel has been sitting in the sun, and we just fired it up. The oven thermometer I put in the Lexan shows that the interior temperature of the hot box is 160 degrees. we got the water coming out, and you can see the temperature on the thermal.
167.
It's coming out at 167 degrees.